All right, how's it going, guys? Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about 6 Lies America Told Us. And this video is by Jovi's Home. This video really caught my eye because, first of all, I was like, what 6 lies are they talking about? I know there's just so much going on in America, and it's pretty crazy, to be honest with you. But honestly, all the lies really, when I was doing my research, really stemmed back from like 1972 when Nixon was president, and the Watergate scandal happened. Since then, it seems like everything's just gone downhill from there. So we're gonna check this video out and see what she has to say. Like always, please like and subscribe to her channel if you like the content. And let's check it out.
Coming from America into Europe. And hi, welcome to Yovi's Home. I post new videos every Tuesday and sometimes Thursdays. Today I am sharing with you 6 lies that America told me. All right, sorry, that was a little bit clickbaity, but the real thing that we're talking about today is 6 myths or false beliefs that I had coming from America into Europe, and things that I really believed were true because America told me, and they were actually not true. So if that sounds good to you, why don't you come on in, kick off your shoes and stay a while. I'm really glad you're here. So let's start out with the Dutch word of the day. And I think that it's very fitting that we have the Dutch word of the day be what the word for United States, and that is Verenigde Staten. Verenigde Staten.
Okay.
Do you guys know I have to do a little disclaimer because about maybe a little bit over a year ago, I posted a video talking about why I would never move back to the United States. And that video is my #2 best performing video of all time. However, that video has an unbelievable amount of hate comments.
That just made me think of something. Maybe I should do a video on why I want to move out of the United States. That may be a good one.
From people in the States that strongly disagree with the things that I said in that video. Now, I do acknowledge that that video wasn't maybe my best because I just turned on the camera when I was angry and I just ranted.
Yeah, that's a big no-no. I will never do that because of that reason.
But now I've really collected my thoughts, and these are 7 points that, specifically if you're watching in America, I hope that you can just listen and understand and be open-minded about the things that I'm saying. And I'm not saying them to bash on America because I hate America. It's actually quite the opposite. Like, if I hated America, I would give no attention to it. I would give no time on my channel to it. I would not give it any space on my platform. But because I actually really want to see it improve because I care about it is the reason that I make these videos. Just like with my own children, when they're doing something wrong, sometimes you have to point out the things that are wrong so that they can learn and do it right next time. You know what I mean? That's this. That's where my heart is. We're gonna stop with the disclaimers, but that's my stand, okay?
Let's go.
Do this. Number 1, the approach to poverty and disability. And I felt, or it was my impression, again, in the United States, that poverty needs to be not seen, you know? So what they would do, or what is done in a lot of cities, is you have districts or areas, the projects or whatever, where you have social or low income housing, and they're kind of lumped in one area. And then you have everyone else that is not on social housing or benefits living in another area. This kind of division or divide creates 2 very different Americas. The glam, rich America that some people see, and then the very, very impoverished, awful America that is the reality for so many millions of people. In Europe, it's not like that. In Europe, you have all the social housing intermixed with regular housing. And I think that for me, it was a big wake up call to see how that looks and how it actually functions. And you don't have these like ultra super rich, like gated neighborhoods the way that you do in the States, because you don't need to keep anyone out because you're sharing a neighborhood with them. Like everybody cares about the neighborhoods because they're all living there together. It was a real mind shift for me when I was told that there's also, low income housing the one street over, or, on my same street as, the very fancy international organization that I was working at, and where I was living in that very, very posh neighborhood. And at first, like, no lie, I did not like it because I was afraid, because I had come in with this mentality that anyone who's poor is going to want to rob me or steal my bike, like, and that's just not the case. Like, because I didn't live among poorer people, because I didn't have experiences and interactions with them on a regular basis, I had all of these judgments or preconceived notions about them in my mind that were wrong, that were absolutely wrong. And now, by living in the European or the Dutch way, whatever you want to call it, like, I see it very, very different.
I think that's really interesting. That may be state to state or county by county. Here in my town, we actually have a big complex. They accept people on housing, and then normal people, not normal, just like then the other people that's not on housing would just be able to rent from that too. So yeah, that's very, very interesting. And also, like, you do got to worry here about thieves stealing things. And there's a lot of people that just don't really care. Like, it's trashed here. That's one thing I noticed about the Netherlands. It's very, very clean. They even had like this big thing going on in Amsterdam. And that morning, the streets were like spotless. You would have never guessed anything happened. For us, it would still look like garbage, probably, honestly.
Number 2, government funded or government organized healthcare is not awful. It isn't. It isn't awful. In my experiences with healthcare in Europe have actually been better than in the United States. When we talk about healthcare in Europe, there is something that really, really stands out to me in my memory. This is an old clip, but this was something that really had an effect on me at the time. And that was Rick Santorum talking about the Netherlands and these death panels that, under the healthcare system of the Netherlands, and because euthanasia is legal here, that basically once you're of a certain age, you just get... It's not true. This shit does not happen here, okay? Like, it is not true. You don't become a burden to the healthcare just because you're older. And in fact, I would argue that because Europeans have more access to regular health, like regular checkups and doctor visits and things, because we have insurance that is affordable or free, depending on which European country you live in, you're going to be able to treat and diagnose things earlier before they become a real problem and you end up in the emergency room. So, that whole thing of like, ooh, the healthcare really sucks if you are living, like if it's government regulated or government funded. It's a lie. It is a lie. It is not true. That is not reality. Okay, that is not reality. 3.
So, I personally think the healthcare system in Indiana, at least, isn't too bad. I can't really complain. Now, there's a couple things that I just don't get. Like for my children, before I had my second child, I had my 13-year-old. And I was working as a chef down actually just down the road from me, and I signed up for insurance for him because you have to have insurance for children. And I made too much money as a single mom. I made too much money to get him insurance. So what they did was I was able to get him on that Medicaid, but I had to pay every month. Now this is coming from like at the time I was getting garnished, and they don't take that in consideration when looking at like things for like food stamps or Medicaid or anything like that. Even if you're getting a third of your wages garnished, they don't care. And that is one annoying thing is like for me being a single mom and getting insurance and having to pay the insurance and then $200 to uh, for this, and it was hard. It was really, really, really hard, and it hardly could manage it. I mean, I don't even know how. Thank God for the virus a little bit because right now we don't have to pay for Medicaid and stuff for children. But I mean, at the time, it's like it's tough.
Working without rest or without holidays does not mean that you're working hard. I know that I definitely had some PTSD, I guess I would say, about working. When I first moved to the Netherlands from the States, I really had a lot of issues with taking a sick day or, like going on holiday for more than a couple of days at a time. Like, actually, let's say going for 2 weeks in the summer and not feeling guilty about that. In America, we're really taught to believe that, you are a good worker or you are a hard worker if you are coming to the office early, if you're leaving the office late, if you don't take a sick day, never. So yeah, feel free, come into your workplace with your slimy nose and your infectious cough. Make everybody else sick. We'll all be here sick together, and
That's gonna be fun. Yeah, that would happen to us. Is like, somebody would call in sick, and they'd be like, "Well, are you running a fever?" Even if you're not, and you don't feel good, I mean, that should not matter. But then again, as I was actually a manager at a restaurant, the back of house manager, so completely different from front of house. Um, It depended. That kind of stuff depended on if like you were going to get raises when you go to do reviews and stuff like okay, this person never calls in and this person always shows up on time, and things like that. Like that actually it affects you. It that affects you here.
an efficient and effective workforce. Like, come on, like I really, really struggled with these thoughts. Taking, as I mentioned, taking holidays was like something that I really had to adjust to, and feel like I'm not letting down my employer because I'm actually making use of my rights. So
We're feeling bad when they call you in after you literally have one day off a week and they call you in on that day, and it's like if you don't say yes, it's like you know they are not happy about it. Dad's calling me. Call back.
that was definitely a big thing for me. So Americans, like I really hope that you understand that you are not a shitty employee if you take a day off. This brings us to point number 4. Capitalism and consumerism are not the most worthy of ideals. When I lived in the States, my absolute favorite pastime was shopping. I loved going shopping for clothes, for, makeup, whatever, shoes. Oh, shoes. Oh, I love shopping for shoes and bags and things. And I was doing it all the time. Like, anytime a friend wanted to go hang out, like, oh yeah, let's go walk around the mall, let's go shop a little bit, it was always about getting more stuff, more new stuff, like showing off that stuff. And if you look, I mean, now how much things have changed. If you look through the videos on my channel, you'll see that I think I bought new clothes like once in the 2 years that I've had my channel. So I'm re-wearing the same clothes that I've been wearing for ages, and I'm going to until I don't, fit them, or until I need something new. But this whole aspect of like consumerism and buy stuff, it loops into that. Like, you have to keep working so you can keep buying, so you can keep working so you can keep buying, and that's how they trick you into like not being able to be like, oh, let me work a little bit, let me go on a vacation because I'm going to pay for that, and then like I'm just going to, not necessarily buy all new clothes all the time. So there's these like fallacies and these like things that are just not logical, or they're not right, Consumerism and capitalism play a huge role in that.
I don't necessarily agree with like, I mean, shopping and stuff, but like for me, it's like working to live. I actually, this is not recommended to quit your job and start YouTube, but I just got so sick of it, not feeling appreciated. And, when you're busting your ass to where you're coming home and you can't keep your eyeballs open because it's just like, it's crazy and you're just miserable. But it is, you work to live because, just in those couple months and, uh, while Charlie's getting his things together too, it's like um our water got shut off. Or we were only like 100, and it was like 100 and some dollars. They shut us off. And then I mean it's just you gotta have money, or everything will be stripped from you. Everything. If you don't have water, do you realize? Oh my gosh, I about flipped out. If you don't have water, you can't do laundry, you can't do dishes, you can't wash your hands, um, you can't take a shower, uh, you can't clean. Really can't clean. Um, you really can't cook. You could probably mow the lawn. Could do that, but it's like as a human being, you get everything stripped from you if you don't have the money. And I get it. I mean, duh, obviously, but uh they're just not. It's just crazy. It really, really is.
More money does not equal more happiness. That is also something that it
No.
took me a while to learn here. Now, I'm not saying that like if you don't have money to buy food, that more money would not lead to more happiness, or if you don't have the money to pay for your, I don't know, heating in the middle of winter, that having more money would not increase your happiness. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about in a middle class society, or like a middle class frame of reference, let's just say, suddenly becoming a millionaire is not necessarily going to make you happier. If you're able to meet your basic needs and then maybe do a little bit of like extras on the side, having all this like piles and piles of money is not going to increase your happiness exponentially. And I think that Europeans know that. Like, Europeans seem to get that. And so their goal is not necessarily always to just have more money. I think that consumerism really gives you an unrealistic expectation of what life should be or could be. And maybe we have the media to thank for that, but definitely just having more stuff and buying more stuff actually does not lead to more happiness.
It really doesn't. I totally agree with that. And I've really realized that after like just being so broke lately, that I'm much happier being home with my children. Um, there's downfalls for sure, but I'm much more happier being poor and with my kids where I want to be than having money in the bank, not seeing my kids at all. It's, yeah.
5. Freedom is a word that we really like to use in the United States.
Yeah.
But it's actually not something that a lot of people truly have. This is subjective. I understand that your definition of freedom might be different than my definition of freedom, and therefore we might have a difference of opinion on this subject. But for me, freedom means the following: freedom from stress or fear that if I get sick, I might be forced into bankruptcy or lose my home due to a medical debt. That is something that really weighs heavy on me because getting sick is not something that you can control.
My medical debt, which isn't, I mean, my debt right now is under $1,000, but my medical debt is what is holding me back from having good credit. And you have to have good credit to buy a house. Other than that, you're just wasting your money in renting. That's how I feel about that. It's like, long story. I'll go into that some other time.
And if that happens, wow, like what choices do you have? And that's just, I don't think that anyone is going to disagree with me on that you should not have to live in fear of losing your home or your life because you got sick. Freedom also from crushing student debt is a big one. I really admire like Europeans who, haven't seemed to have figured out that we should make education, higher education, accessible to everyone, and not get people into crushing lifelong debt. And I'm not saying that there's no student loans or things here in the
That is so true. I've told my kid, my oldest, to go to a trade school. Like, don't go to college. It's a waste of money. It really is. Like, and it'll put you in debt for years and years and years. It's ridiculous.
Netherlands, because there also is, you can also take out loans if you need study, like financing to go to school. But we're not talking about hundreds of thousands of dollars, that's definitely not the amount that we're talking about. And I also feel like another big freedom for me is the freedom to feel safe. And I did not always feel safe in the States. I'm nervous about guns, and you might say, guns don't kill people, people kill people. Yeah, but people have a lot of guns. A lot of people have a lot of guns in the United States, and I am afraid of those people because I don't know them, and I don't know, they're unpredictable, and I don't feel safe knowing that I could be on a street walking around and there could be everybody that I see could have guns and there could be shit going on.
I'm not sure when this video was made, but now in the state of Indiana, you can have a gun, and cops are they can't ask you if you have them. Like, they're not allowed to. They have to have probable cause to be able to get that kind of information.
Any moment, like that is not safe for me. Students, like children going to school, having to wear bulletproof backpacks, that is not freedom for me. It's not. Yeah, so that some guy can have freedom to have as many guns as he wants. Now all these children have to wear bulletproof backpacks to school? Like, how is that freedom? That's definitely not freedom under my current definition. I'd be interested to.
There's been so many school shootings this year that I honestly can't even count. And actually, there's one that almost happened in our town. And they just recently got in trouble and charged on probation for conspiracy to shoot up a school. I won't even go there.
Hear what you guys think about all of these things. So, socialism and social democracy are two different things. The Netherlands specifically is not socialist, it is a social democracy. These two things are different. And if you don't know the difference, please educate yourself. Because calling Europe socialist is wrong and is not the case. That's it. That's my rant. These are the 6 myths or lies that I was told. that I now see the error in them and don't believe them anymore. So thank you guys for watching. Thanks so much for coming over today. I really hope you liked this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Leave your comments below. I'm very, very curious what kind of discussion will be sparked by this video. Thank you guys so much for coming over.
Yes.
Thanks for spending some time with me. I hope you enjoyed this video. Give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already, please click subscribe. We're trying to get to 20,000 subscribers by the end of the year. You can make that happen.
What she said. If you like what you've seen and you liked her, please like and subscribe to her channel as well as mine if you'd like. Also, I really appreciate you guys, and I hope you keep coming back. This made my brain go a little bit. I'm wondering about a lot of stuff right now, and I'm gonna have to do some research. So thanks for watching, and I hope you guys have a really good day. We'll talk to you later. Bye.